All right, we go like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Houston, Texas taking on Chicago Bears. And right off the back, you got David Montgomery running it in, getting the TD, giving the business, and giving the business early. But let's get it started. Mr. Trubisky, 24-33, 267 yards, 3 TDs. David Montgomery, as you just seen, 113 yards in the TD. Allen Robinson, 123 yards in the TD. Deshaun Watson, 21-30, 219 yards, 1 TD. Buddy Howell, 42 yards. And Kiki QT, 24 yards and a TD. And then you get a pass right here to Jimmy G, who ups the score, 14-0 Bears. And Deshaun Watson looking for the pass. He's about to fire Kiki QT. Touchdown, Houston, 14-7. And Deshaun Watson the pair to go back, but then he gets sacked, and you get a safety for the Chicago Bears, 16-7. And then they got the outside pass to Darnell Mooney from Mr. Trubisky, goes in, touchdown Bears, 23-7. And Mr. Trubisky was cooking. He hit the man Allen Robinson, who got him down there at this point. Touchdown Bears. They are cooking the Texans right now. Ricardo Santos hit like 2 field goals in between this point. But bottom line is the Bears end up beating the Houston Texans 36-7. They break a 6-game losing streak, and they had to do it against Houston here today. And up next, you got the Dallas Cowboys against the Cincinnati Bengals. And this one was a defensive beatdown. Guess who it was? I'll explain. Andy Dalton, 16-23, 185 yards, 2 TDs. Ezekiel Elliott, 48 yards. Amari Cooper, 51 yards at a TD. Brandon Allen, 27-36, 217 yards, 1 TD. Travion Williams, 49 yards. AJ Green, 62 yards, and a TD. And then Travion Williams with the ball, and somehow he fumbles it, and Aldon Smith picks it up, runs it back into the end zone, 60-something yards, and yes, it's a TD. Dallas Cowboys, 10-0. And then it's time to get some offensive stuff in there. Amari Cooper ready for the action, touchdown Cowboys, 17-0. But AJ Green said, the heck with that, I'm going to get mine and get myself healthy. Touchdown Bengals. 10-point difference. And a bunch of field goals later, Andy Dalton hits Tony Pollard off. Touchdown Cowboys. They end up winning 30-7. They gave the business. The only time they really gave the business all season. And there you have it. Beating up on the Cincinnati Bengals. They go 4-9. And ironically, they were like a game or 2 behind first place. And speaking of trying to hang on to first place in the NFC East, Arizona Cardinals taking on the New York Giants. And this game was a beatdown, but it was of a different kind. But let's get to the stats. Kyler Murray, 24-35, 244 yards, 1 TD. Kenyon Drake, 80 yards at a TD. DeAndre Hopkins, 136 yards. Daniel Jones, 11-21, 127 yards. Wayne Gallman, 57 yards. Golden Tate, 39 yards, and that's pretty much that. Nothing popped off in the first quarter, but the second quarter, Kyler Murray hits Dan Arnold for a TD. Touchdown, Cardinals, 13-0. 8:52, Kenyon Drake jumps over the top. Touchdown, Cardinals, they're up 20-0. And then you rush it in. Dion Lewis finally gets it in for the first touchdown for the Giants, 20-7. Basically, after this, the Cardinals end up winning 26-7. They're up. They're scheduled 7-6 right now. The Giants got beat down. Daniel Jones was taking a beat, and he got sacked 8 times in this game. It was flat-out punishment. And up next, you got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady was 15-23, 196 yards, 2 TDs. Ronald Jones, 80 yards at a TD. Scotty Miller, 48 yards and a TD. Kirk Cousins, 24-37, 225 yards and a TD. Dalvin Cook, 102 yards at a TD. Irv Smith, 63 yards and a TD. And we started it off with Dalvin Cook rushing it in. Touchdown, Vikings. They get the score. They started off. Here we go. Brady launches a bomb to Scotty Miller. Touchdown, Bucks. 7-6. And then they back down the field again. Ronald Jones dives in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. And they expand their lead. And then Brady launches a ball right there to Gronkowski. Touchdown, Buccaneers. They expand their lead again. 23-6. And then Cousins gets the pass out there to Irv Smith. Touchdown, Vikings. And then they get a 2-point conversion, which gets it 14-23. Ryan Suckup gets a field goal to end this game. And bottom line is the Bucs win 26-14. They go to 8-5. The Vikings fall to 6-7. The curse of Antonio Brown and them winning at home is over. They finally broken it, but there's one person and one person only that helped they lift this damn curse, and you already know what I'm about to say. Do you know who I'm talking about? I'm going to explain it to you right now. Dan Bailey, you piece of trash. You missed 4 kicks today. You missed a 36-yarder, a 46-yarder, a 54-yarder, and a damn PAT. Nobody really liked your goofy ass, and I'm pretty sure Dallas was happy when they kicked your punk ass off the team. You piece of trash, you. Anyway, up next, we got the Denver Broncos taking on the Carolina Panthers. So basically, Drew Lock, 21-27, 280 yards, 4 TDs. Melvin Gordon, 68 yards. KJ Hamler, 86 yards and 2 TDs. Teddy Bridgewater, 30 for 40, 283 yards. Mike Davis, 51 yards and 2 TDs. Robbie Anderson, 84 yards. And then we have the punt return right here from Dante Spencer. And he's running it all the way back. Giving the business and displaying business. Look at him. He ain't getting caught. Nothing's happening. Touchdown, Broncos. They started off right. But now it's time for Mike Davis to give business and get a receipt given. Touchdown, Panthers. They take the lead 7-6. And Drew Lock gets the pass to Nick Van Nett. They get up the lead. Again, touchdown, Broncos 13-7. And rolls the deep shot right there. And that's the first for KJ Hamler tonight. Touchdown, Broncos. And then Drew Lock gets some help from Tim Patrick to increase the lead. Touchdown, Broncos, 26-10. Oh, my bad, I'm mistaken. They went for 2 and didn't get it, 25-10. Teddy Bridgewater says, the heck with this. I got to do something to get my team back in the game. I'll take it in myself. Touchdown, Panthers, 8-point lead. KJ Hamler back at it again, giving the business, increasing the lead. Touchdown, Broncos. But then Mike Davis right here is trying to get him right back in it. Touchdown, Carolina. But unfortunately, that's all that would take place for Carolina. Denver beats them 32-27. They go 5-8. Carolina falls to 4-9. And up next, we got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars have been absolute trash this year, but let's see if they can pull something off. Ryan Tannehill, 19-24, 212 yards, 2 TDs. Derrick Henry, 215 yards and 2 TDs. A.J. Brown, 112 yards, 1 TD. Gardner Minshew is back, 18-31, 178 yards, 1 TD. James Robinson, 67 yards. Keelan Cole, 67 yards, and a TD. And we got a long flea flicker, giving a bit of one-handed. A.J. Brown starts it off crazy and starts it off right. Touchdown, Titans. And it was only a matter of time before you knew Derrick Henry was going to get into the action. Touchdown, Titans. They increased their lead 14-3. And then we go to Geoff Saheem. Wow, I didn't even know that they were. Good job for him. And a touchdown, Titans increasing their lead. And then we go down to end zone. Who else? Who else, honestly? Derrick Henry once again giving the business. Touchdown, Titans 30-3. And then Gardner Minshew finally throws a TD pass to Keelan Cole. Touchdown, Jacksonville Jaguars. But bottom line here, it was too little too late. The Tennessee Titans laid the smackdown 31-10. They go 9-4, and poor Jacksonville falls to 1-12. And honestly, every time I think about Derrick Henry when they play the Jacksonville Jaguars, I think he just has Jaguars in his house because he completely owns Jacksonville every time he goes down there. In the main event of the 1 o'clock games, you got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Miami Dolphins. Patrick Mahomes this day went 24 of 34, 393 yards, 2 TDs, but he also threw 3 picks. That's amazing coming from him. That's crazy. But Tyreek Hill, 32 yards at a TD. Travis Kelce, 136 yards at a TD. Tua Tagovailoa, 28 of 48, 316 yards, 2 TDs and 1 pick, and also a rushing TD. Mike Gesicki was going off today, 65 yards and 2 TDs. Yeah. And speaking of Mike Gesicki, there you go with the alley-oop. Touchdown, Miami. 7-0. They take the lead first. So at this point, they were dominating on defense first, but then Patrick Mahomes got together, started doing Patrick Mahomes things. And of course, you got to get Tyreek Hill in the business. Touchdown, Chiefs. They're down by 3, 10-7. And then Patrick doing more Patrick Mahomes things. Hits Travis Kelce off. Touchdown Chiefs, they take the lead. And then once again, launching it deep, we got that crazy man known as Tyreek Hill once again. Touchdown Chiefs, they increase their lead. And look at this. McCole Hardman on a punt return says, the heck with the Miami defense and your special teams. I don't really care about none of that. I'm rushing it in. Touchdown Chiefs, increasing the lead again. And right back here to a stuck. They get a safety on them. 30-10 Chiefs. 30 unanswered points until this point of the game in the fourth quarter. And then he hits Gesicki off again. Touchdown Miami. The lead is only 13. And then Tua says, I'm making it pop it myself. I'm running it myself. Touchdown Miami. The lead is only down at 6. A field goal good by Jason Sanders. They're going to try to get the onside. And they don't. The Chiefs go 12-1. Miami falls to 8-5. And with this win, it officially gives them a playoff berth.